Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi!
Hi.
How was your day?
Could have been better, but always could be worse. So,
I hear you.
yep.
I hear you. We're here doing Atlanta today. We're going to be doing Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode number 4. And this one is called The Vault. I loved it.
Is it called the Vault? Because the dinner was at the bank.
It was called The Bank, but the restaurant was called The Bank, but it was actually in a vault.
Okay. That makes sense.
And yeah, it was at the bank, but it was in the vault of the bank. We start out with Angela and Brit, and they're working out. Well, they're really just walking in the park. Brit brought her dog Mimosa in the stroller. I honestly find that annoying. I just do.
Well, I just find it interesting that they were going on a walk and she brought her dog and
In a
she's
stroller.
pushing the dog in a stroller. Like, don't dogs like to walk when you go? I don't have a dog, but I
Yeah,
think that they like to walk when you go on walks.
I would think so too. I don't know. Brit was saying how she wants to get to know Angela because she doesn't have many girlfriends, which I kind of feel bad for her if that's the case. You know, like
Yeah.
everyone needs a good girlfriend or two.
Yeah. I wonder how long she's lived in the area. Like, maybe she hasn't lived there that long.
Well, that's possible. That's
Maybe.
possible. So Angela says her and her sisters don't really see eye to eye either, and her mom is taking her sister's side. Then we find out Charles and her mom had a big blow up. I don't know exactly what, she didn't really let us know what it was about, but I guess words were exchanged.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Okay.
Because she's mentioned that she and Charles were separated at one point. So something had to happen in their marriage.
Right.
I'm going to say maybe it had something to do with that. Like maybe he stepped out or.
It could be. I mean, she also said that she kind of helps her family financially, which is really Charles that's helping the
Yeah.
family financially. So I can see where that would be a strain, right?
Well, yeah. And like, not that they shouldn't have an opinion because of that, but
Right.
listen, I don't like to get involved in people's marriages and I don't get involved in people's marriages. My sisters were married and they don't get involved in my marriage. So I certainly wouldn't get involved in somebody's marriage if they were helping me financially. Yeah. Like I don't do it anyway. And nobody's paying my bills except me. So
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of common because, I mean, Ashley and her mom, like she was helping her mom financially. And I mean, Michael was not very fond of Ashley's mom.
yeah, I think it was the same situation though.
Yeah.
Don't you? I'm not saying same. I shouldn't say same.
I don't think it
Alleged.
was. I mean, I think because Ashley's mom had that other guy living with her. So he was
That's
kind of
right.
supporting Ashley's mom and the deadbeat.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Britt has 2 sisters and they don't get along, she said, since her dad passed. But she kind of alluded to that last week about the whole business thing, right?
Yeah. And she said her sister Cher, who's apparently younger than her,
Right. 3 years younger.
took it the hardest.
Right. Angela said Shamea and her got off on the wrong foot, but she's hoping that they can work it out. So she's inviting her to her big party at the bank. Brit said she thinks that Kenya is a bit snooty. I'm confused as to what even set off the whole Brit and Kenya thing. Was it because Kenya asked her about her ring? Like, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I think with Kenya, she's got a hard shell.
Yeah.
She has a wall up, and rightfully so. Kenya can be difficult, but the whole thing with her mom not acknowledging her.
Yeah.
And then this bullshit with this guy, Mark, who was clearly just after her money.
Yeah.
She's got reason to have walls up. So I think that she made a very flippant comment, like, are you engaged? She was wearing an engagement ring and there was no wedding band.
Right.
Of course, that's perfectly acceptable. But somebody could ask, like, are you engaged or are you married? Because you're only wearing a diamond ring. I don't think there's anything wrong with her asking that. And I think Brit took it
the wrong way.
Yeah, she did. And then once that happened, then Kenya was like, all right, we're not going to be friends.
Right. Yeah. So then we see Shamea in her backyard, and her sister comes over, and she wants her opinion on her new song that she has been working on with RL. I don't know who he is, Robert Hugger. I don't know. He's a singer and songwriter. But we find out a little bit, well, that she's been singing since she was in the choir. She was in several groups. She named them. I had not heard of any of them. Had you?
No, and I'm surprised because I was a big girl group fan.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of any of them. And, you know, she wants to play it for the girls at Angela's dinner, but she admits that she really wasn't very nice to Angela and that she wants to extend an olive branch to her, and she's going to get a bottle of olive oil and apologize.
It was actually very cute.
It was, and listen, I really like it when they take ownership and apologize.
I know. I was kind of surprised she did so early on. But I'm
Yes.
glad she did because and then she does go on to make another nose joke, which, all right, Shamea, enough with the nose jokes.
But she didn't make it to her face this time.
No, she didn't. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was your nose is bad. Like,
She was singing it, right?
she was doing it like a parody to Michael Jackson's Bad. With that said, enough with the nose jokes.
Yeah.
But it was good that she acknowledged that she was at fault there.
Yeah, I agree. Then we see Porsha shows up to her office and she's like having a meeting with her staff. I did not even know that she had a sheets line, Pamper by Porsha. I had
Me
no
neither.
idea. Did you?
No.
I mean, I knew she had the naked hair line.
Yeah.
But she lets them know that this is like her main source of income now, that, you know, we've got to really do things by the book. And, you know, she wants to expand the product line into getting duvet covers and I guess maybe pillows.
Well, the funny thing is I listened to Dolores and Tamra recap and they were like, we didn't know she had sheets.
Right.
They were like, Cynthia has sheets. We have Cynthia's sheets. So they
Cynthia
didn't
does.
know Porsha had them either.
I know Cynthia does have sheets. And then her cousin Lonnie's asking her about the naked hair, about the ambassadors. And he says that Drew reached out with Dennis and that they want to talk about the career, the music career. Wants to have a sit down with, I don't even know, Porsha and Lonnie.
That was very confusing.
You know, Porsha said, well, you know, Drew has not done something that's in her contract. So we're going to have, you know, Naked Hair reach out to her and take care of that. And she's like, yeah, you know, like we have an attorney that does that. And it's so funny. She's like, yeah, the Go Naked Corporation. And I don't know if you saw it going across the screen. Like she's the attorney, Portia's the admin, she's the HR. Lonnie's like,
everything they listed, they're like Porsha.
Porsha. Yeah.
And she's saying that she can't just fire her.
Right.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can, Porsha.
What are you doing, Porsha?
If this is your company, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. And
because all those people work for you.
Right. Right. And then we see Drew's outside of her house with her boys, and they're running football drills with Ralph. And because I did listen to Tamara today too. I thought it was awkward. I did think that whole interaction was awkward. Were you
surprised to see him after her and her attorney's conversation last week?
I was. Well, I mean, we knew he lived in the base. I was even more surprised to see how nice the basement is. I wouldn't want to leave that basement either.
I would gladly shack up in that basement.
Yeah. I mean, he's got his own private entrance. He's got a bar. He's got a theater. He's got a little kitchen area.
I'm finding it very sus, the whole separation now. Now that they filmed together, they're giving him a confessional.
Well, the confessional was weird, especially since why didn't he have a shirt on?
Put your fucking shirt on, bro.
I know,
there's a whole camera crew. You know what's going on.
That's so weird. Like, what are you going after?
Right.
I mean, listen, I could see her letting him film so that he gets a paycheck so that maybe he can get out of the basement. But he's got to be getting a paycheck. If they're getting divorced, there's no way he's doing it and not getting a paycheck.
But now we learned that none of the husbands get paid.
I know.
Why would one that's on his way out get paid?
I don't know. Why would he do it?
Because I'm telling you, I'm finding this whole thing suspect. I really, really am.
I didn't like that when her son asked her to run, she said, you have to ask your dad.
Yeah, what is that?
That was weird. I thought
you own the house. It's your front yard. You want to run.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
I don't know. I'm losing it for Drew a little bit.
So they said that they're better co-parents than they were as a married couple. They both kind of agreed to that. Ralph said he
But she
just
was
wants.
making crazy allegations last week, right? Like he's haven't be followed
Well, I mean,
with the
yeah,
attorney.
yeah. I mean, when she said followed, I think maybe he's like putting tracking devices in her car.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna, be peaceful with you if you're doing that shit.
But
Well, I guess in front of
for
the
the
kids you
kids,
would.
yeah, you got
Yeah.
to do it for the kids,
Yeah.
right? He's saying that he just wants to make sure that he gets 50% custody. I don't think that would be a problem if
No.
you're contributing 50% and you're doing
Right.
what you need to do. I don't think she wants to keep the kids away from you,
Yeah.
right? And the older son that he was running the drills with is the one that isn't his.
Right.
So, I mean, he's definitely in the kid's life.
And he never adopted him?
No, no, he didn't. Then we see Kenya Moore hair spa, and Kelly meets up with Kenya there.
That was a
Very
nice looking
nice.
spa.
Very nice. Kelly has her security guard there, Big Kenny. Big Kenny's big.
Big Kenny was big.
Kenya asks
Appropriate name.
why, why he's there. And she's like, I have a mark like you have a mark. And Kenya's like, why? She's like, well, he threatened me. She's like, well, do you have proof that, she's like, yeah, he did it in court in front of the judge.
He's a genius, that guy.
I mean, so the judge found him in contempt and gave her restraining order. The girls are not permitted to see him. I mean, seriously, I don't know that I would want to film with somebody that's got this, has to have a bodyguard around them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Remember Eva had like a similar situation with her ex?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
hope she has a bodyguard for her girls as well. I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
I mean, those girls are little.
Yeah. Well, except for the 17-year-old. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was very concerned about that. I was like, that's a lot,
Mm-hmm.
unless it was just for show and she was being dramatic, which, I mean, sometimes these housewives are dramatic. I mean, didn't Giselle show up with the bodyguard at Karen's house once?
Yeah. I mean, that was ridiculous. That
Yeah. Yeah.
was her being messy.
Right.
That was definitely her being messy. I think we'll find out. I think we'll know soon enough with Kelly if she's dramatic.
Yeah. So
or
Kenya
for
said,
real.
what are you fighting about? And she's like, well, basically it's the business, And Kenya's like, well, did you have it before? She's like, no, we started it together. The business is 8 years old and they've been married for 11.
That's going to be messy.
That's going to be very messy. Kelly said when she left him, she said, you can have your residual income and allow me to do what I do, which is run the business. And he said he would close everything and I wouldn't have anything without him. And it sounds like that's what he did because she lost the first location because of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Kenya applauds Kelly and she's very impressed with her. And Kelly's really encouraging Kenya,
Yeah.
like, you can do this. Like, are you going to franchise this? And she's like, I just spent $400,000 on this. Like, this is my daughter's college money.
It was so nice to see that vulnerable side of Kenya.
It really was. It really was, especially since we know we're not going to see it anymore this season.
I know. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Because I think I have to make a retraction to something I've said in the past on the pod, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Don't make any jump
I'm not
conclusions.
going to apologize just yet.
Okay. So, Kenya starts crying and Kelly's still encouraging her. She's like, come on, girl, you got this. She's cheering her on. Then next we see Brit and her sister Cher. They meet up for dinner and it's been a long time. We find out that Cher is also not talking to her mother because she's blocked her again.
She's the block queen.
That seems to be the way she communicates, is by not communicating.
What I didn't understand was, and part of this is going to jump ahead, but I'll leave it at that. Brit introduces her sister and says that when girls wanted to beat me up in high school, my sister Brit would come and be like, okay, who do I have to take care of? And then at the end, wait, maybe she didn't say it on the show. Maybe I heard it on a podcast, but she made a statement that she's never been in a fight. She's never had a traffic violation. I'm thinking, you never had a fight. You were talking about how your sister had to come to your high school because people wanted to beat you up. I mean, I guess maybe she didn't actually fight, but why did people want to beat you up all the time, Britt?
Right. I think that there was this, I didn't see it, but I heard people talking about it. I think that she made a statement on her social media about that.
Yeah. After last night's episode, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Or Sunday nights.
Yeah.
I know
I don't
We're
even know what day
recording
it
on
is.
Tuesday now.
Yeah.
So we find out really what's going on with like Brit, why she hasn't been why Cher hasn't been talking to Brit and what's going on. And, Cher really lets her know that she, misses her sister, having her sister there and having her sister conversations. Cause whenever Brit's around, so is Mike. And
Yeah.
she doesn't really have any sister time with her, which I do think is very strange.
So I have a friend who before cell phones, we actually used to talk on the phone a lot.
Right.
And when she first got married, that's what it would be like. I would be on the phone with her and he would be right next to her, like not only listening, but giving his opinion. And I would have to get off the phone. It was so irritating. Like, just give her a half hour so we can catch up.
Right. It's none of your business.
Couldn't do it. I mean, partly her fault too. Like, get up from the. I would never sit next to Eric on the phone with somebody because he would do the same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I'm not even
either.
giving him that opportunity.
Right, right. So we find out too that Cher has kind of depression and anxiety, and she really needed her sister.
Yeah.
I hope that Brit takes that to heart and really is more aware of what's going on and
Yeah.
kind of
I mean,
takes
maybe
care of
she
it.
had things going on in her marriage where she had to pay more attention to it.
Maybe.
But it's your sister, and if she's asking you for some time, you give her some time.
That's it. That's what it comes down to. It's
Yeah.
family. Family's
Yep.
family, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Then we see Drew goes to the studio and Dennis is there.
I can't believe he filmed with her.
Yep.
If the mother of your child asks you not to do something, don't do it, Dennis. And he doesn't need the money. He must really just want to be on the show. Did you notice a couple of times he looked at the camera when they were filming him?
I didn't notice that.
He looked right at the camera.
It doesn't surprise me.
I know.
It doesn't. It really
He
doesn't.
must really just want to be on the show.
And, the more I watch him and Drew together, he doesn't have to be a part of this. You're so right. Because Shamea has another producer. I mean, there's a lot of producers in Atlanta, right? They don't need Dennis.
It is funny. Oh yeah, no, for sure. She could have done this with everybody.
Right.
Anybody. Like, who said it? I didn't know he was Quincy Jones.
I think Dolores said that.
Dolores said it. But not only that, Shamea did do a song and we didn't see her in the recording studio and we didn't see her with a producer. So I think the producers of the show are doing that to show the difference.
Right.
Like, he really doesn't need to be here, people.
Right. No, he does not need to be there. He does not. And Drew says to Dennis, what about Porsha? She doesn't want her to work with him. And, Drew said, you said it was okay. And Dennis is like, well, that's when she was in Nigeria. And, I didn't need to tell her. Okay, well, she's not in Nigeria now. And she told you not to.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting that they're doing exactly what Porsha said they were going to do? They were going to talk about her. They weren't just going to film at the studio, her singing and him producing.
Right.
They're going to talk about Porsha. And that is what she didn't want. I'm not a huge Porsha fan. She has her flaws, but she is 100% right, in my opinion, in this sense.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, then Drew asks, him to bridge the gap and let her know what's been going on. And Dennis said, well, I'm going to need you to take the lead. He's not bridging any gap.
He's not doing that.
Yeah.
So Drew is being hella messy here.
Yep, she is. She is. I mean, even in her confessional, she said, I made several attempts to talk to her. And, when she's ready, we'll talk. So she's not doing anything else at this point.
I mean, I agree that Porsha held off on responding so it would be on the show.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that.
But she wanted it her way.
Mm-hmm. Then we see Shamea and Porsha are both getting ready and they're talking to each other. And Shamea is trying to think about what she's going to say to Angela. And Porsha says she's not spoken to Drew and she already knows what it is. Like, she knows what's going on. Angela is having her dinner. The theme is Black Excellence. It is at the bank, but it's actually in like a vault. But we find out it's in the rough side of town. Such an elegant. Yeah, I don't know Atlanta, but it was such an elegant looking place.
So elegant.
To be in the rough side of town.
I know. But you know what? Think about where, and this is, sorry, no shade on Patterson, but think about where the...
Brownstone?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, there's good and bad everywhere, right? Good neighborhood and bad neighborhoods. And Kenya shows up in green.
So on purpose.
My goodness. Come on, Kenya.
She looked great, though.
She did look great. She did look great.
She did not follow instructions, though.
No. She said she didn't get the memo. Shamea shows up with the olive oil and the olive branch, and she sincerely apologized to Angela for attacking her looks, and she accepted the apology. And I'm glad she just started out with that, led with that, and then it was done.
Yeah. Thank God.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
I like them both.
Yeah.
Kenya pulled a Dorit with the caftans.
Yes, she did.
I didn't say.
Yeah. And they show you the invitation where it says black attire.
Black chic.
Yeah. Kelly says to Drew, you showed up at my event and you brought some extra people.
How about that?
Yeah. You said you were bringing your sister, but you didn't say you were bringing your makeup artist, and he stayed and didn't buy anything. And then Kenya's jumping all over that. Well, did anybody else not buy anything? And she looks over at Drew, and Drew's like, I did. And I thought she was showing her a receipt. I didn't realize she was showing her a text message between her and the sales associate. At the same time, she's getting a text message from Dennis.
That timing couldn't have been any better.
Come on. And the look on Porsha's face, she was just grinning from ear to ear like, you know what? I told you.
Yep.
So the interesting thing was Kelly said that nothing was ever purchased, and Drew said she spent $2,000 on a jacket.
Right, for her kid.
Yeah, for her kid. I'm tending to believe Kelly, to be honest with you.
So am I.
I'm just saying.
What else? That'll come up at the reunion, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that will come up at the reunion. Kelly thanks all the ladies for making it a successful event. And then Kenya invites the ladies to her spa opening. I actually didn't notice this at the time, but when Kenya came in, or was it when Brit came in? Who touched who?
So Kenya goes to give Brit a hug, and she like patted her on the back, and I could swear I saw Brit patting her back. And then when Kenya goes to sit down, she's like, that. Brit goes, that wasn't a hug. That was a pat or something like that.
A pat down.
Like, that was a hug.
Right.
Yeah, that was a pat down.
A pat down.
Yes.
Right.
And Kenya was like, that was a hug. And by the way, I don't know if it was, I'm trying to think who was sitting next to each other, Kelly and Drew, right? I don't know if it was Kelly or Drew. It could have been Porsha, but when Kenya went up, like, she kind of like air kissed. And listen, I get it. These women were probably in glam for hours.
Right.
You know, you ain't fucking up your makeup. So she kind of like air kissed her. So when Kenya went to like hug Brit and just did the pat or whatever, that's how I took it. Like, and she said, I don't want to get myself tanner or my bronzer or something like that on you.
Right.
Again, there was nothing wrong with it, Brit. Shut up.
Yeah, I didn't think there was either.
No.
I didn't think there was either. Angela asked Shamea to bring everyone up to speed on what's going on with her. And then she starts talking about how she just recorded a song and she starts playing it. Porsha's like, that's not you. That's Drew.
Oh my God, Porsha.
And she kept saying it. She's like,
over and over.
You don't think I know your voice?
That's her friend.
I know. I mean, I do agree, like with the auto-tune. You know, it is hard to tell, but if it's your friend telling you it's her song, Why would she be playing Drew's song for you?
Right. Everybody, why would she play Drew's song?
Right. It's like
come on. Maybe a little TLC or, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Fiancé, but not Drew.
I thought the song sounded good.
Yeah.
All the ladies told her, even Drew said, you know, like, it sounds really good. And in her confessional, she's like, Porsha's being shady. She knows that that's not my song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they decide to play the game. Again, I don't know why they play these games.
Stupid. Because it's production telling them to.
Yep. They write down a question anonymously to ask anybody in the group. The first question is, Shamea, what did you do to thank your husband for the Rolls Royce he bought you the other night? Okay. I mean, she really didn't answer the question, but she did act it out.
She sure did act it out. And you got the message. Okay. And good for you.
We know.
I don't even know her husband's name, but good for you.
We know what she gave her husband for the Rolls Royce.
He had a good night.
He had a good night. She did not even have to say a word. It was just a game of charades. And I'm not even going to say what it was.
Right.
Just watch it.
Watch the show.
Watch it.
That was great.
Angela, what is the secret that you wouldn't want to know? And I guess that was in reference to anybody or anything. Like, it was a vague question.
I don't think it was. I mean, I'm sure whoever wrote it must know something about Charles that,
Is-
you know, so like we had
Her,
mentioned before, it came out. I only heard of it today. I never heard it before, that when there's a clip of Wendy Williams from years ago when she still had her show saying that she was at an event with Angela and Charles. She said goodbye to Charles. And I guess this was when she was going through her divorce, Wendy, and Angela gave her a hug and said, "It's just a baby." And Wendy kind of asked her, like, "Is this something you've gone through?" And she insinuated in some way, this is what Wendy Williams is saying. I'm not
right,
saying it. This is,
right,
that Angela insinuated that something similar had gone on between her and Charles. And we know Wendy Williams' husband stepped out and had a child with somebody else.
right.
So there could be this situation in their marriage.
That could be it, because what her answer is that no threesomes. She doesn't want to bring anyone into her bedroom. And then Porsha says, "I did hear your husband was spicy." She said, "I did hear something about Charles." And Angela said, "Well, what did you hear about my husband?" She goes, "Never mind. Next question."
She said, "We'll wait. We'll wait." So she's planning on bringing it up at some point, Porsha.
Yeah. This is just dirty.
That's dirty.
It's
I mean, I
dirty.
do feel like if that were true, though, what do we know? Although we didn't know about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that came out years later, huh?
Yeah. And again, I mean, who was really following Charles? I mean, we weren't following him.
Exactly. No, I
Right.
forgot all about him. I love
Yeah.
him. I love watching him, but I haven't thought about him since he played for the Knicks.
Right. Right. And then this whole thing about the panties. Kenya, what color panties do you have on? And she stands up, but I guess she's not wearing panties. So
I'm assuming that whoever asked the question knew that she
no,
wasn't
she
wearing
wasn't
panties.
wearing panties. And, she makes this motion under her dress, and Porsha says, "You have the biggest vagina ever. It's going to snatch our food right off the table."
She goes, "How you doing?"
I was like,
She did a "How you
what?
doing?"
She did do that.
She is funny, Porsha.
I know, but sometimes it's just like, I mean, they were at the dinner table.
I know.
Like,
I know.
I mean, we didn't see it, but did they need to see it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're very funny together, Porsha and Kenya.
Yeah, they actually are. They are.
Yeah.
Kenya's asked why she's so worried about happily married women, and Kenya said it's a habit. I don't know what that means. She says, "No, I'm just being silly." I mean, I don't know.
Is that in reference to the ring? What do you mean? Why are you so worried about happily married women?
It
I
has
don't
to
understand.
be.
It
It
has
has
to
to
be about
be.
the ring, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. You're wearing a diamond.
Right. A
That
big
could be an
one.
engagement ring.
A very big diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have a wedding band with it, so that could be. It's fine if you're married and only wear a diamond, but it could mean that you're just engaged and not married. It could mean that you're not either and just have a really fabulous diamond ring.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brit starts doing way too much, though.
Yeah. Well, because then she says to Kenya, can you just speak kindly and not with an attitude? Like, where did that come from?
Exactly.
And she said, "Yeah, I could speak to everyone kindly and not with an attitude." And then she said, "Well, this isn't about everyone. This is about me." Okay, so then it's about you. Maybe she just doesn't like you. And then Brit's all of a sudden, she starts like cursing at her, like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Well,
Brit's yelling,
because Kenya said peasants don't come for the queen. Peasants can't come for a queen.
right.
And that's when Brit lost her shit.
Yeah, "Get the fuck out of here. Where's my husband?" And then Mike gets there and she's saying, "Bitch, you're going to be respectful around here." And he's just like, "Who did what? What's going on?" That whole situation was very weird.
It popped off real quick. It was like that scene at the country club where Danielle Staub told Teresa that her house was in foreclosure. It was that level of speed of the pop off. That's what it reminded me of. They're screaming at each other. Well, not screaming at each other. She's screaming at her walking out.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. And then they leave, like they're in the parking lot, and then so in one car is Kenya, Shamea, and Porsha, right? Are they in one
Yeah,
car together?
Porsha and Shamea were getting into a car, and
Car.
Kenya was kind of standing outside. I think she was trying to stay the F out of Brit's way.
Yeah.
And eventually Portia's like, "Are you coming with us?" And she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I will.
Yeah.
And then Kelly and Angela and Brit were over on the other
the
side.
other
But I
side.
think somebody said to Brit, "You're doing way too much." And I don't know if it was Mike, Kelly, or Angela. One of them said it, though.
I did
They said
not
you're
hear
doing
that.
way too much. Did you hear her mention a gun? Did you hear her mention a pistol?
Well, when they were in the car, after they're in the car, you hear the audio that Kenya said Brit said she had a gun. I
Yeah.
only hear Kenya saying it. I didn't hear Brit say it.
I didn't either. But
I
I'm
got
wondering if they edited it.
well, but then why would they leave Kenya's in?
I don't know.
Because then she said, "I got a pistol on me. She's got a gun for real." Kenya said, "Please, let her do something to me so she can go." And I'm like, "Oh no, don't say that, Kenya. Like seriously."
Yeah. Well, but she's right. I mean, but
She's
on Potomac, they, got rid of
I know, but you don't
money.
I mean, seriously, you don't I mean, we're talking about a gun. We're not talking about, punching somebody.
I took it as she meant like let her put her hands on me and then she'll be gone.
No, I mean, that's not I
Okay.
mean, because when she said yeah, I mean, hands is one thing, a gun is another. Like,
Way different.
yeah, don't be saying that. Like,
No, you're right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
But is it me? I don't think Kenya did anything wrong at that table.
I didn't either. Not to
I mean,
warrant that reaction.
not to warrant that reaction. Saying peasants can't come for a queen. All right, it's like Dorinda saying
Eagles don't
pigeons don't
fly.
fly. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I just think the reactions were not appropriate. But I mean, it does seem a little odd that next week Kenya's response is going to be a picture of her. Like what? That doesn't seem like an appropriate reaction either.
Did it look like Brit went in to apologize?
I don't know.
I'm
When?
curious to see.
You mean
because
next week?
next week it looked like Brit goes into the hair salon, like her immediate thing is to apologize, kind of like what Shamea did tonight. And then Kenya pulls out the picture. Now, what I was going to say was, I've been saying all along, I thought that pictures were plastered all over the walls. That's what I thought they had said prior
When
to the
this
season
happened.
starting.
Right.
So I was thinking the producers had to know they're setting up their cameras and their lighting. If there were pictures hanging, the producers saw that and let it go. But it does look like Kenya brings out a big poster board of a picture.
That's what it does appear to be. But
Yeah,
I
so
still
I
think
was wrong
no, but
if that's the case.
I still think they would have known
You think the
because
producers still would have known?
I mean, they mic'd her up. Like she's
Maybe she
not
had like the picture like hidden behind the desk or something and then was like,
I
oh, let
mean,
me go grab something.
it's possible. It's
I
very
guess we'll see
possible.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I mean, I just feel like they're there on set. You know what I mean? Like, how can they not know?
I know. That was my immediate thought
Although
too. Like production had to know what was going on.
we are getting a lot of people on social media like, how do you know production knew? And I'm like,
I know.
like,
So when I saw the coming attraction last night, I was like, oh man, they're right. Like maybe they didn't know. Because I thought I remembered hearing that pictures were all over the walls, but that really wouldn't make sense because people would have just walked in and been like, what the hell is going on?
right.
It looks like maybe she pulls it out. So maybe production didn't know. I retract.
You're going to have to put it with the other one. Otherwise, no one's going to know.
That's true.
We're just going to have to wait and see what happens next week, and we'll go from there. I'll be honest with you. I'm enjoying Atlanta. I really am.
I am too. I'm glad you talked me into watching it.
Okay,
I
good.
am too.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I like Shamea. I like Kelly. I'm on the fence with Brit. I do like Angela. Probably because I really like her husband, but I do like Angela. I'm on the fence with Brit though.
Well, I don't know. I think I think Britt and Kelly are not speaking. I heard that they're not speaking, right? So
Yeah.
it's not going to be good.
I don't know if Brit's coming back after this.
No. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll see. But I'm with you. I didn't hear her say anything about a gun. I heard what Kenya said.
Right.
I don't know why Kenya would make that up though.
I don't it didn't make sense that she would make it up because really she was having the conversation with the girls in the car. It's not like she was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just the audio. All you heard
Right.
was the audio. All right. So we're going to have to wait until next week.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.